Gold companies, of course, the gold finance companies were considered to be worst hit. Let's address the impact. George Alexander Muthoot, the MD of Muthoot Finance, is with us. George, good morning. So you have data for 1 month now. Tell us what's been the impact.
As we started, it had a big impact, but now the impact is waning. Rather, we are getting traction on more and more of these things which we are able to do now.
Okay, you said it had big impact to start with, and now it's waning. If you could give us some numbers or some qualitative analysis.
So, as we are talking in the last few days, we have been able to do about 65% of our disbursals, pre-monetization disbursals, we are able to do now, and about 60 to 65%, 65 to 70% of our repayments are also happening now. And these things, a good percentage is happening through the online, and some of it through the cash, which is actually starting to trickle down to the hands of the people. So overall, 65 to 70% of our disbursals and repayments are happening. And as far as interest collection is concerned, it's much better. It's about 80 plus is happening interest collections.
Okay, but George, actually, if you can give us a little more color on repayments, what were they in the early part of the month, or rather mid-November, and how are repayments now, both interest and principal?
So it has hiked up from 30 to 40 to 50 to now it is 65 to 70, what we are seeing. Okay. Initially, it was very poor because people did not know actually what to do, etc. Now we have been sensitizing our customers and also our staff to ask customers to do the online business, online of taking money through NIFT, through RTGS, IMPS, etc. That is gaining traction. As I've always been saying, I'm sure about 30% of our business, even in the good times, after all this is settled down also, will be through cash, because the average ticket size is only 40,000 rupees. So certainly cash is required, and I'm sure in the next 2-3 months, when cash is more available with customers, those customers will also start coming back.
Okay. Actually, George, you have an unusual understanding of the grassroots. As you say, your ticket size is small. Are you getting a sense of distress in the lower levels, job losses? I mean, how bad is demonetization hitting people in terms of jobs at the unorganized level?
In the cities, it is not that impacted, but in the hinterlands and outskirts of the cities, with people are really getting impacted because I'm quite certain that's the report I get from my branches is that some of the smaller businesses have really got affected. It will take a lot of time for them to recoup with cash, which is just starting to trickle into their hands slowly. So many people still require cash because the business of smaller business, etc., are cash, and rural, hinterland, etc. Our branches there actually are finding it little difficult, even with many of them don't have bank accounts, many of them don't know about this online things, etc. We are trying to teach them. Bigger loans are happening, but smaller loans are finding it little difficult to come by.
So can you tell us what is the percentage of repayments exactly that are happening online now? And I just want to understand in greater detail how you're going, cashless or increasing the digital transactions. What are the methods that you're using, and what percentage of your business could be online, say, over the next 3 to 6 months?
Actually, what we do is we have now loans are loaded on prepaid Visa cards also. That is one. Then we also have the NEFT, RTGS, IMPS, etc. for disbursal. For repayment, people generally use the web pay, which we are using earlier also, and that we have started about a year back. And also we have started a Muthoot app also, iMuthoot app. People are starting to use it, and our people in the branches are actually helping customers to start using. So repayments are happening through the web pay, through the app also, and the disbursals are happening through the NEFT. So actually, in the branches, we have an assisted model of this. Okay. It is definitely gaining traction. Definitely in traction. Initially, after the 3rd, 8th, and 9th, and 10th, etc., the online transactions should have been only 20% or 15% of what we are doing. Today, more than 50% is on, and the rest is cash, which is actually coming into the branch. Some people definitely bring the cash for repayment, interest payment, which we use for disbursal also.
Okay, so can you tell us what kind of growth targets are you looking at? Will you stick to that 10 to 20% AUM growth target for FY17? What kind of disbursals are you looking at, say, over the next 3 to 6 months?
Okay. It also depends on how much of money is brought back into the system by the RBI. But as it stands, steady state, we have already grown by about 12%. I don't think there is going to be any degrowth in this quarter. Maybe just almost steady state only in this quarter. But next quarter, as things get better, we should be reaching the 18 to 20% is what we are hopeful of doing in the next quarter 4.
Okay, George, it was a pleasure listening to you. Thank you very much for joining us. Quick break, and we are coming back to